Let's talk about the words that are silently killing your listing.
If your listing title has things like cozy nest and tranquil retreat, we need to talk. The title gets 50 characters. Every character needs to count. So in today's video, we're gonna go over what doesn't work and what does when it comes to your listing title.
Hi, I'm Sarah Karakayan.
And I'm Annette Grant.
And together we are
Thanks for visiting. We've been hosting for well over a decade, welcomed tens of thousands of guests, and earned thousands of 5-star reviews.
Our portfolio continues to bring in over 1.5 million year over year, and supported not only by the industry's leading brands, but also some of the biggest media outlets.
And we're here to help you with your furnished rental.
Let's go over why your listing title matters. Here's the deal. When people get on Airbnb, they are scrolling, they are skimming, they are comparing, they are going by fast.
Right, so your photo, your title, and your price, think of that. That is your billboard. That is your time to stand out in a very crowded marketplace. Think about when you're driving down the highway, you see that billboard. It's so compelling because you are going to get off at the very next exit to, maybe fill up on gas, grab a drink, grab something to eat. But you didn't have that you were driving down the road, you saw that billboard and it hooked you, it got you. That is what your listing title needs to do.
Airbnb, all the OTAs are competitive, right? They want a listing to get booked. So you need to make sure that yours gets booked. And your title is a value-packed preview of your listing. I'm gonna say that again. Your title is a value-packed preview of your listing, and the goal is to get clicked on. And with Airbnb's algorithm always changing, the more you get clicked, the more Airbnb is going to be like, people like this listing, whether it is your price aligning with the photo, aligning with the title, which has some previews of why your listing should stand out to that potential guest. So the goal is to get clicked, so that title really matters. We've got to talk to that potential guest and hook them.
Words to delete immediately, okay? These are wasting space. They are not helping you stand out. And listen, don't take this personal because we've used these words. Trust me, I've used every fluffy word there is
Sweet Sarah, that's a fluffy word.
Right. It's hard to just face the fact that these are not helping because you want to explain your space to your guest. You want them to know you have a modern loft, that cozy nest. You really want to name it that, but they aren't value-packed descriptions. Let's just know that it might be a little hard for you to delete these. It might be a little hard for you to face the fact that these aren't getting you the bookings, but we want to make you more profitable and get you those bookings. So let's dive into, again, what words to delete immediately.
All right, so really common words like cozy, tranquil, charming, relaxing, these are generic. And they're subjective fluff, right? We don't really talk about what makes it charming, what makes it cozy. So when you're thinking of these adjectives, that's good. If you've got, right now, Annette and I are curating a cozy cabin. But do you know how many other cozy cabins there are down in Hocking Hills in Ohio? So many. So we're gonna have to really dig deep on what other words that we can use to describe why our cabin is cozy, what makes it cozy, and how we can attract someone from stop the scroll and click on our cabin. Okay, words like obsessed, chef's kiss, dreamy, adorable, right? These belong in Instagram captions, not in your title, okay? They're kind of, I don't know.
Cheesy.
Cheesy?
Yeah, they're not packing the punch. They're not giving the guest. Again, you've got to put yourself, this is where it is very different to sit in the host seat versus the potential guest.
It's hard.
As a guest, when you are scrolling through, those words really don't mean anything to you. So that's where, again, you have to detach yourself from your property and then think about what is the guest looking for.
All right, the word the, or if you're from Ohio, the, unless it's part of a proper noun, like a city name, we want you to scrap it, right?
It's wasting up valuable real estate.
Right, we said you have 50 characters as of today.
Yep.
And so every character, every word really has to matter, and the word the doesn't matter.
This is the one we see so often. are words that literally mean nothing to anybody else.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe it's your unit is 16A in the condo building. Maybe you have your team internally named the property. Like,
2BLK.
yes, like letters, numbers, things like that, that quote unquote, like back of the house things that maybe you, your team, your condo complex, your neighborhood, these front facing mean nothing to potential guests at all.
Even we've seen this a lot with, you come up with a cute name like I'm trying to think of the Short North Stunner. So there's an area of our neighborhood, of our downtown Columbus, it's called the Short North. And so people like to use alliteration. So the Short North Stunner, because they, short and stunner S. Or what, like, I don't know, the Hudson Hideaway. Like, it's cute and it does roll off the tongue, but is that going to get someone to stop the scroll? Like, to you think maybe you know what the Hudson Hideaway is compared to your Short North Stunner, but that's not marketing. That isn't going to get someone to stop the scroll and explore more about your property. I encourage you to get more creative.
And when we were talking about those like small local areas, again, remember, someone not from your town, your city, your state may not have any idea, let's say the Short North is, or any sort of pocket area that people just aren't going to know the name of it. We see that so often. Obviously, you can put that in the description if it matters, because I know those areas are very important to guess, but not in the title.
Now, you could argue with us that if it's a really popular nook, like Soho in Manhattan, like that it's popular, it's famous. Maybe, but then I might argue, well, if someone's already narrowed down their search to that Soho area, maybe you're next to a landmark, but I just really want you to think about nooks of neighborhoods, and if that really is going to get someone who's never been there, or maybe they're traveling there to visit someone, but they don't really know the ins and outs of the area, if that's going to get them to stop their scroll.
This is a segue into abbreviations. Like Sarah just said, Soho, which, by the way, is Soho South Hoboken?
South of Houston.
Oh, see? I didn't know. Is there even that? Like, this is case in point. Like, using abbreviations in your title also, people don't know what those are. So maybe we see this all the time. Like, an easy one, but most people would know, is like Atlanta, ATL, or like certain beaches have a lot of their own abbreviations in slang for what they name it. But the abbreviations in the slang, we want to leave those out too, because again, to the potential guest, they don't know what that is. That they need to come to your town first so they can learn that.
Now this one, you can argue with us on this one, because I'm going to argue too, but I just want you to be thoughtful and intentional if you repeat amenities in your title. For example, if you have a hot tub, and you have it as the first words in your title, and then you have it again, maybe in your description below. And a lot of times people mark off and filter for the amenities. I would just caution you, or we'll get into this later on, switch it up and try it out. If you see that the word hot tub works when you use it at the front end of your title because you're getting clicked on and you're tracking those stats, then fine. But I would change it and test it and see, because you might be repeating information where real estate is really valuable, and you could be sharing something else in that space. And then last but not least, too many adjectives in a row. Luxe, cozy, modern, private retreat, right? That's just, there's no info there. It's a lot of clutter, because we can get lazy because you're like, I've changed my title 10 times already this year and I am out of ideas. We're going to get into how you can get more ideas so that you can hone in on who is traveling, when, and what they want. So hopefully they can see it in your title, stop and click you. Let's dive in now to what to write instead of fluff, because you want to answer the potential guest's unspoken question. Why should I click on you instead of the other 8 people that I'm scrolling past in this moment?
8?
Right?
I wish there was only 8.
More than that. Right? But like in that moment, at that one scroll, you got people above you, people below you. If you're on the phone, if you're on the desktop, I mean, it's even more cluttered. So we have some examples here for you. We want you to highlight unique features. We want you to, this is a great one when you really get lost in terms of what to use next for your title. Go through your reviews. What are your guests saying? Especially the ones who write like a paragraph or more. What words are they using? What are they pointing out. That is like marketing 101 in terms of how to then market to the next potential guest, because you're attracting a certain kind of avatar. What are they using? And let's use their words, right? Location can sometimes be helpful, but we're going to go over specifically what to use.
How to use that.
How to use it. And then event-based availability is really great. We've done that a few times and it's helped us get booked up. So let's highlight a unique feature: lakefront dock kayaks. Okay, especially if Airbnb doesn't have the filter for the amenity that you have, like a specific amenity. I know that there are hosts out there that have like specific arcade games, or like what are those some specific things that people comment about in your reviews that you could use in the title that might stop the scroll.
And like the example that Sarah just said right there, like lakefront dock kayaks, that's like stacking those amenities too, so you can just see that they're like, yep, I know I wanted lakefront, even better, they've got dock and kayaks. Like it's like boom, boom, boom. So you're stacking those unique amenities, which is awesome.
I would say too, if you're in some sort of ocean town or even a lake community and some properties get lake views and others don't, and you have one, I would use that. That's something that I search for often. Like, yes, I know I see that I'm by a body of water, but do I see it while I'm cooking? Do I see it while I'm in the dining room when I wake up in the morning? Things like that. Like, how can you stand apart, again, from other people in your area? Okay, show off what your guests are already raving about. I was actually helping one of our Posting Business Mastery members with her title. I went into her listing, and I was going through her reviews, and truly, I know that a lot of you rock out the whole cleanliness thing, but when I tell you every single guest mentioned how immaculate her place was or super clean, I mean, I was like, you need to talk about this, but how do you say that in a title and not look, again, generic?
Yeah, it should be clean.
So we came up with this one: guests rave, super clean, plus game room. So guests rave, super clean, game room. And here, when you see that title, it's like, oh wow, here are what my past guests are saying about my place that were super clean. For me and a lot of people, cleanliness really matters. And for you to highlight that in the title, I don't see that too often.
And that the guests are saying that. So that testimonial, and it's very easy for a guest to fact check you. Guests rave, and then you know you've got it backed up right there with all of your reviews. They're going to see it immediately.
All right, so call out location. I know you're like, but Sarah, you just said don't use like location in the title. Well, right, but what about a distance to a landmark? Okay, so we have example here, 5 mins, M-I-N-S, so minutes, to Dollywood. And then an amenity, right? Maybe it's like pet friendly, calling out that you're pet friendly, or
let's say you are literally 10 steps from the beach. Like tell them exactly. There's some stuff like that at highlighting the exact distance, or like 2-minute walk to stadium. You know, like that type of stuff right there is like, that is appealing to your guests. Like that is your billboard. That is a huge moment for you to be able to advertise the awesomeness of your property.
Right. Capture event-based availability. And this one, do not sleep on this tip because we've used it before and it works. South by Southwest ready, walk to venues. Derby week available, Sleeps 8, F1 weekend, pool. Like if you stop, because here's the thing, you don't want to be the first one booked when there's a big event in your town, because if you are, you priced it too low. So you might be seeing that the occupancy is filling up and you're not yet booked. You've got competitive pricing. You're holding out a little bit longer for it. So in your title, let those people who are currently shopping for a place know that you're still available for that weekend.
And the kind of underline to all of this is answer those questions that the guest might have as they see your photo, as they've already drilled down with their requests via Airbnb, you know, when they put in all their specifics. Like, what are those questions that they might be, as their store? Go ahead and answer those ahead of time. Right. Here's some bonus tips that are gonna move the needle for you.
All right, so you want to be changing your title pretty often. And if you feel like you're gonna forget, just put a recurring task, whether it's on your calendar or your project management software, on your refrigerator, whatever you got to do, on a Post-it note on your desktop or your laptop computer, reminding you every 2 to 4 weeks, change your title up.
Yeah, this is not a set it and forget it.
No.
Sorry, there's like, you can look at this in 2 ways. Number one, you're like, what, ladies? Now I have to change my title regularly. You can also find comfort in that there doesn't have to be this one perfect title. And you're going to constantly be testing
And I
your
think
titles.
that's what hosts think, that there's this because we'll meet new hosts and they really stress over the title, which is, well, stressing is never worth it, but they really think about the title, which is great. But it's coming from this place of, I've got to come up with this title
And it's gonna
never
be there.
move it,
Mhm.
never change it. And that's not true.
Right. So again, we're going to give you some tips here to help that not feel so burdensome to you.
Yes, we're going to go back to using this new tool that is at our fingertips, and there are free versions, ChatGPT, or there's Claude, or there's a lot of them out there, but some sort of AI tool that can help you generate titles for your listings. And things that you can do are copy all of the reviews, or a lot of them that you've gotten for your property, and paste them into ChatGPT and then say, I've got 50 characters. I don't want to use fluff words. I don't want to use words that are too common. I don't want to use too many adjectives. And I'd like to highlight this, this, and that. Come up with 20 title variations for this property.
Your prompt is what's so important with
The
ChatGPT.
prompt is very important. And really lean into, if you've got any big events that come to your town, whether it's every year or you've got a special event that you know that's coming this year, also have it, like we told you in the text before, to use that in your title. So for example, Taylor Swift weekend or football Saturday free parking, something like that, where if you're not
Marathon, festival,
and availability,
you've got something in your town. And this is where this will help you. If you have 5, 10, 15 things in your town, this is automatically help you regularly switch up your title.
Our next tip is to avoid duplicates too close to each other. So what I mean by that is you have the title of your listing, and then in your listing where you have that area where you can start writing the description of your property, and then you can click show more and get more into the description of your property. We call that section above the fold, means you don't have to click in to read more. That is pretty close to your title. Okay, so you've got your title and then above the fold section. I would use that valuable digital real estate to highlight different things about your property.
Yeah, you don't want to regurgitate what you had just told them in the title.
Right. So one of our big tips is, we already told you the title. Don't use words like the or filler words or too many adjectives. Why would someone want to learn more about your property? Put that in your title. And remember, your title is always changing. And then above the fold section, go into more. What else do you offer? Or more detail about that thing that you just shared, right? But try not to use the same words or duplicate words, because you want to really maximize that digital real estate.
And we'll see some hosts crush the title and then they go into this fluffy mess in the description. We just helped someone last week with this, and it was like basically that whole digital real estate that was so valuable was just a bunch of fluffy words that told me nothing more about their property at all.
Yeah. All right. We could actually have a whole episode on descriptions, which we won't right now. We're going to stick to title, but they are related in this instance. So I wanted to dive into that. Test titles if you're not getting clicks.
Got to look at the analytics.
So we encourage the members of our mastery. We have this spreadsheet, and you can create one too, where it has your first page impressions, your search to listing conversion, your booking conversion, your overall conversions. Airbnb will tell you in the analytics section if you're getting clicked or not. And if you're not, that's one of the first things I would change, is whether it's the photo or the title. Test it, and you wonder, how long should I test it for? Well, it depends. Are you in your high season where you're getting a lot of views right now? If you are, you don't need too long of a time frame to test it. But if you're in your slower season, fewer eyes are on your listing right now because there's fewer people booking in your market. You might want to test it for a little bit longer to see if it's really getting people to click or not.
And then last but not least, learn from your competition. We love to make swipe files, AKA just a folder in your Gmail where we'll have a document where we see other titles that we love. Search your city, search your state. Do your own research when you're looking for vacations. What titles stick out to you? Just start to group them together. It's almost like having a Pinterest board for your titles. It's just a swipe file, and you can pull all of those in and look at them when you go to create new titles. And then again, you can help your AI with the prompts. You can say, hey, these are some of my favorite titles. How can we incorporate these into my listing? So remember, your title is a billboard. It is your sales tool. So this year, if you want to get more bookings, we've got to stop with the fluff and we've got to let the guests know what we have to offer. We got to get clear about it. And if you don't have anything to offer, well, we need to work on that, okay? Clarity is kindness to your guest. And listen, we want to help you. So below, drop your current listing title and we're going to help some of you rewrite them. We'll help you rewrite them in the comments.
And if you want to continue get listing tips, hacks, tricks, if you need help with your design, if you need help with your Airbnb business in any way, shape, or form, make sure you hit that subscribe button because we come at you with new video content twice a week. And if you want to continue the education, you got to check out this video that people are loving. It is a secret Airbnb setting that can help improve your bookings by 300%. With that, I am Sarah Karakayan.
I'm Annette Grant, and together we are. Thanks for visiting.